Video games are simply amazing, but why, you may ask? I personally believe that the history that led to their creation, the amazing creativity that we can see in them, and what they have done for humanity itself are much more than just amazing. When humans first started to develop more sedentary behaviors, recreational activities were required, an instinct in every way, and after a long thinking process, they came up with a great idea: competition. Competition between the same species is something very common. The strongest rules the herd, the strongest survives, the strongest gets the Employee of the Month award. But, anyways, the concept of games were almost scripted in our evolution, they were needed. Nowadays it's something completely different, but how did it start?
The first ever recorded video game in existence was Tennis for Two, a video game that used an extremely complex machine only to show in a little screen a ball getting hit in a tennis court from side to side. It was never thought for public release, but this led someone to have a really fantastic idea. Steve Sluggs was working for the US government in the spaceship sector when he thought that a simulator for piloting them would be great. He developed his flight simulator where you could pilot and shoot two spaceships by pressing a couple buttons. Its success made it to be replicated in the only 50 machines that were able to run the game. Years after its success, a guy named Nolan Bushnell came and founded Atari. He grabbed the original idea and concept of the spaceship game and put it into his brand new invention, the arcade machine, a little metal box powered by coins that could be later extracted. And this was the start of video games as we know them now.
Video games are pieces of art. Video games are a way of human expression. They transmit emotions, feelings, and most importantly, video games transmit experiences. Playing a video game is an experience with visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and psychological effects on everyone. You can appreciate beautiful landscapes, hear the most delicate or noisy note in the soundtrack, or just feel the satisfaction of pressing buttons at the right moment. All of this has a psychological effect in our brains. Video games make experiences that you can be part of by simply playing.
But have video games actually made something good for humanity? Well, it's impossible to deny the fact that video games are not for everybody. They can enforce violent behaviors or even cause severe brain damage to the photosensitive public. But even knowing all of that, video games have helped a lot of groups and people. From the base, video games can improve human reaction time, multitasking ability, body coordination, problem solving, decision making, among many others. Also, a real life example of real life people getting help by video games, we have the Nintendo Wii, which was used in physical recovery patients to improve their progress by playing video games with its revolutionary movement controls. I personally believe that video games are an amazing part of humanity, and they have certainly changed my perspective of life in many different ways. I'm just grateful for having all of these experiences with me. Thank you for your attention.